G'day there, g'day there, g'day there, g'day there. Welcome to the Raeside. My name is Hannah. I'm living in Star Wars right now. I'm living my best Star Wars dream. Actually, that's a character. That's a character I would love to see a live show on. Let me know if you're staying up for it. I'm gonna be here live. All right, please don't break. Please don't break. The cameos, but I'm sure there'll be some. So that's great. I prefer this recipe. I don't know what this would be helpful for. Oh, maybe I should stop there with the detail. I'm going to get carried away. G'day there. Welcome back to the Raeside and welcome to another show, another painting show today. We did this a couple of weeks ago, but there's so many more planets to paint in Star Wars. So we're going to continue this series of planet painting. If you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, we're going to tackle Naboo and Mustafar and have a go painting these two planets because, let's be honest, they're two of the most like vibrant and colorful planets in Star Wars. But it's going to be a great show. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good start to the week. What's been happening? We got this week, we don't have any Andor. It's the first week in 9 weeks. We haven't had Andor to look forward to. So that's, I think I'm using the wrong mic. Is that sound a little better now? I think the sound should be a little better now. There we go. But we're, first week without Andor coming up after this show, which is a little sad. Or maybe if you weren't too keen on it, maybe it's not that sad. But it's sad that we're not getting some new Star Wars today. It's going to be a quiet night. But, maybe time for a rewatch or something. But hope you're having a good start to the week. We've got Elliot in here, Otto the Wise, fantastic nerd, Cantina. Great to have you here. We've got Al and Stop Motion Commotion. Now, that's a good name. That is a great name. That's phenomenal. Great to have you here. So glad that you could join me for the show today. So, we'll get into what we're going to get into, our painting, because we're not only doing one painting, we're doing two paintings. And the painting we did, the planet painting we did a couple weeks ago, took like a solid hour and a half to do. So we're going to get cracking pretty early on in the show today. But it's going to be good. But before we get into it, we'll have a quick chat, have a few questions, and then we'll get into it. But before we do that, make sure you don't forget that last week we had the premiere, but it's going to still continue this week and so on. Every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern is live on the YouTube. So live on this channel, this exact channel. We don't have to go anywhere else, is the Raeside Gaming. So I'm just cranking through Battlefront. Played Battlefront last week, but I think we might try out some Lego Star Wars tomorrow. But I think we might go back to Battlefront. I'm not quite done there yet. But make sure you check that out. So that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. to 8 Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's midday here in Australia if you're, from my neck of the woods as well. So, stick around for that tomorrow. If you enjoy gaming, or even if you don't, we have a great time. What do we get into? If you were there in the gaming chat, gaming live last week, throw down in the chat what we talked about. We talked about everything. We talked about planets and characters and Legends characters that should come into shows. We talked a little bit about the Acolyte. We talked about everything, didn't we? We covered a lot. So it's a good time just to chat about Star Wars and hang out with friends. So make sure you're there for that stream tomorrow. But yes, today we're going to get into our painting. So, we got John in the chat. Goldman. Oh my gosh. Great to have you here, my friend. Yeah. Thank you. I work. This is many, many years of Star Wars collecting in this backdrop. That's why it looks so full. And actually, even for the show, I started this channel 5 months ago. If you go back to my first couple streams, I had barely anything, but I've slowly added everything into it. Andor is goated. Glad you loved it. So good to hear. Can you paint Yoda on death sticks? I wish I could try that one time. That would be hilarious. Star Wars Galaxy, what is up? Not much. Loving life. You should review fan films. I've never seen a Star Wars fan film. Not really my thing, but I would be open to it. Jedi Jen, great to have you back, my friend. Glad you're here for the stream. Brooke Chen. Hey, Hannah, loved Nerd Theory stream last night, and hearing the takes on Star Wars was also happy holidays. Happy holidays back to you, Brooke, and thank you. It was a good time. It was a very good time yesterday. Great people over there. You need to rep the sequels on that backdrop more though. Yeah, well, everything's kind of on cycle. I had a Porg. I do have my Ray. Is she? Yeah, she's in the shot. We've got Ray up there. We've got Ray. We've got a bit. I'm very much a Clone Wars fan though. I'm a big Clone Wars fan, so I think that's what's taken over it. Brooke with a take here. I think Andor was all right. Really excited for the Ahsoka show. Pretty telling from Josh. Den Nerds is more excited about Ahsoka than Ant-Man from Quantum Mania next year. Yeah, that's a big thing. I'm not a Marvel person, so I'm not quite sure what that means, but I feel like that means something important to Marvel people. But I appreciate it. Yeah, Ahsoka is going to be good. Indy Yoda. Kyle, great to have you here, man. I'm very picky with fan films, but I've got a few ones I love. Yeah, I've never dabbled in them. I've never watched any or really got into it. I do have a friend, Nick Downs, that I know. I know he's been a part of a fan film called Eye of the Forest. I want to say it is. I've seen that marketed on TikTok a little bit. Might check that out. But it'll be phenomenal. There we go. I need a Ray Pop, lol. I have your dog's name's Ray? That's amazing. That is amazing. Julie, great to have you here, my friend. Yeah. Nick Downs, Eye of the Forest. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So I'll check that out when that comes out. I think that's soon. But let's get into some of the action we're going to get into today. And of course, if we've got action on the show, we need Ray Action Cam into the mix. Now, again, it's struggling. It's got a bit of delay. No, it's not that delay today. That's all good. It's all good. Oh, jeez. But we got the pretty much the same deal as last time. Man, got myself caught up there. Same deal as last time. We've got the two canvases, and the way we paint this, it's not by brush. Don't think we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna get like a Star Wars Bob Ross. We use a special product called pouring medium, or sometimes called liquid medium. And this is what artists use to essentially make their paint very runny into a pourable texture. So essentially that's what I use, and I mix that up with all the different colors we're going to use today, and then we pour it over to make this epic marbled effect. If you were here a couple weeks ago for the Camino stream, put a K in the chat if you're here for the Camino stream when we painted Camino. It didn't end up all that great. You know what? I should have showed it on the stream. Hold, wait there. Here we go. Here's our Camino. So I feel like it's more of like maybe like a Mon color or something. It's a bit too watery for us, but yes, awesome. We've got a bunch of people here from the Camino stream, but this is not obviously nice and dried, but this is how our Camino turned out. So this is how our Mustafar and Naboo is going to essentially look, but with the different coloring. So hopefully that goes well. I should pop this somewhere. Where could I have no idea where I could put this. Maybe I could put this up here today. Oh, geez. Is that going to stay? I feel like that's not going to stay. Okay, I'm putting money that that's going to fall down at some point during the show. I'm already terrified. Oh, amazing. Brooke, have you thought about doing a stream where you design your own version of a spacecraft that could be in Star Wars universe? I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. How would I design it? Like on something? Like online, so digitally? Or like physically design? That would be cool. That's a cool idea. I'm very open to ideas. If you got any ideas for the live streams, hit me up with them. We'll crank open these canvases. Get these ready to rumble. And yeah, which one should I do first? So obviously I'm doing two today. I'm doing Mustafar, I'm doing Naboo. Some of the most iconic prequel planets. What should I start with? I like Naboo might be a little easier, a little lighter to start with. Oi, Sin City Sith, welcome. Yep, Reaction Cam is already in the mix. It's already getting in amongst it. But I think let's start with Naboo. I think we're going to start with Naboo. So I'm going to do, this is what I did last time. I think this helped. I put like little cups underneath to kind of raise it up a little bit. Welcome, Dark Jedi. Welcome, Sevilla. Welcome, my friend. No Star Wars till 2023. It is sad, but it's not that long. It's like 5 weeks. It's not that long, which is kind of good. Maybe I'm just a bit too positive. Yeah, it's not a long time. Not a long time, which will be good. Obviously, we've got Bad Batch coming up next, which is going to be awesome. Big fan of Bad Batch. I'm a big Bad Batch stan. Of course, I think coming from, like, obviously, I'm a big Clone Wars fan. Being a Bad Batch fan was a pretty easy jump to make. Let's put the coloring in first for Naboo. And then we're going to get into we'll add our pouring medium to it. So luckily, Naboo's up there. That's that green one up there. So it's quite turquoisey. So I got this one. So this is, I felt like that's a good, wow, I matched that well. So that turquoise is meant to match that turquoise. And I've also got a bit of a darker blue as well, which might be nice because I feel like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that because it's like, I know it's green, but it's like, it's a very bluey green, and that looks a little different on camera as well. So we'll do a lot of this green because I feel like this is going to take a majority of the artwork. And a little bit of white as well. We'll add a little bit of white into there. Naboo probably has to be one of my favorite planets, actually. I do have to say it's probably, if not is, it's probably tied with Coruscant for my favorite planet. I put up a poll this morning for you guys about favorites prequel Star Wars planets. And to my surprise, actually, majority said Coruscant. I don't know why that surprised me, but I don't know. I thought more would have said Naboo, perhaps. But yeah, a lot of you really, really liked Coruscant. Which is understandable. I mean, it's like tied for my favorite. We're going to need a lot of this green. Now, I genuinely had nothing else to stir this with but a skewer, like a wooden skewer. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much, Sin City. I appreciate it. It was a good time talking with the guys. All right, so we're going to give this a mix. So I've added that pouring medium in to make it nice and flowy. I think I'll add some more, but I'll just mix in this first part first. I really need something better to stir with, but that's okay. This will take a while. Papa Memes, welcome to the chat. We're the two OGs. We're the two OGs that took over the show the other week. That was hilarious. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you. Use my finger. No, I can't use my hands. Use my fingers. That would be immediately messy. Like Bob Ross would say, let's get a little crazy. I love it. I love it. This is amazing. I feel like maybe I should use, this is going to take so long. I genuinely had no other better implement to mix this with. I mean, I could get like a stick from outside. Yeah, I still need a lot more pouring stuff. All right. Maybe that's a bit better now. Anyway, let's talk about Andor. How's everyone going from Andor? I don't know if anyone else gets this, but every time like a Star Wars show finishes, I get like a hangover for like a week, just from like a hangover of like Star Wars emotions. That was just really, that's like really intense. And I was like, whew, that was an intense time. I think the build up for any kind of Star Wars finale is quite intense. And then obviously, you know, the release of it. It's always a little bit intense. John with a question. Who is your favorite Star Wars character? Ahsoka, Leia, and Rex are kind of a top 3. I love Captain Panaka as well. Can't go past Captain Panaka. Oh, geez. This show is going to take so long if this is the method I'm going with. But that's a good liquid level, I would say. Alrighty. Put that there. And then we'll go with this darker blue. Yeah, absolutely. I need to binge watch Andor. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think Andor is going to be a little better in that sense. I think it's going to work a little more cohesively in a binge kind of setting, in a binging way. Oh, this one's really, all right, cool. We'll do that much. Yeah, I think it'll work a lot better in terms of bingeability. Is that a bingeability? We're going to make that a word. I think it's going to work better that way. So yeah, I definitely think a binge is due. Yeah, I must be the minority. I liked Andor. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I honestly think a lot more people liked Andor than disliked Andor. But I'm finding the people that disliked Andor, they had like the similar takes. Like a lot of people had the. I mean, I'm one of the people like the pacing. Like, yeah, I just had some queries and issues with the pacing of Andor. But it's like, yeah, everything else I really enjoyed. All right, this one's mixing a lot quicker because it's a smaller amount, and then we'll do a little bit of white power memes. Excited for the episode tomorrow. There's no episode. Don't taunt us like that. All right. You know what? A show. I need to make another video on what Star Wars shows that should be made. I need to make another video of that because another one I really would love to see done is like not a Naboo show, but like a show about the Gungans. I would love to have a Gungan show. That'd be awesome. I thought Andor was good. Can't wait for Mando season 3 though. Yeah, Mando season 3. That's even so like that's coming early next year, which is exciting. This is a fresh paint. It's got to crack them open. Jeez, why is this so hard? Great. I haven't even finished Andor yet. Good to know. I feel like we might mention some spoilers in the chat a little bit, but definitely go watch it. Landon. Great name, by the way. That's a Star Wars name. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll do this white and then we'll get into the painting process of it. Yeah, we're not getting it for a little while. We're not getting... What have I done with this? Andor's not coming till 2024. They've only just started production on it. And I think... I mean, the production value of it was so much more just thorough than any Star Wars show I've seen. I mean, Mando rivals it, but Mando still has that kind of smaller kind of quality because they use that volume. But it's with the production value of it, you can definitely tell they spent a long time really perfecting it, and shooting on location and things like that. That just generally takes more time. Whereas, yeah, obviously the volume, it's all one spot, it's all one thing. Like, I think during the COVID years, I feel like it was understandable to use the volume. Then that made sense. Okay. I've only got a little bit of white here. I might just add a little bit more flow medium to this. Brilliant. Deirdre. You know what? And that's really funny you mentioned Deirdre. Jedi Mike is that's one character I totally forgot to mention in my Andor review because I loved Deirdre. Oh my wow, I loved Deirdre. She was awesome. She was such a, she's so evil and so awful, but just so well played. And well written. I think her character was really well thought out, really well written. Of like, we understood her thinking, what she was trying to achieve the whole time, and yeah, just kind of her point of view through the whole thing. I really enjoyed her character. We're gonna get into it. Let's get into it. So let's start off with Naboo. Okay, how's everything going? Is this runny enough? We'll see. I think it's runny enough. We'll see how it goes. I think I put too much tint in this one, so it's making it a little thicker. Your name is Ray. Does that mean you like Ray Skywalker? Yeah, I mean, I like Ray Skywalker, but it's just my last name. I can't help it. Like, yes, but also that isn't why it's called the Raeside. Also, it's funny when people say that because it's like it's spelled differently as well. It's not spelled the same way as Ray, like Star Wars Ray. It's like totally different. But I do like Ray, but it's not why it's called the Raeside. Okay, we ready for Naboo? It's a process. If you were here for the Camino stream, you understand how intense this process can get. I stand up during this period and move around. It's very quick. It's actually not that quick. I don't know why I said it's really not that quick. But it's everything's fluid, everything's moving. So we gotta act like smart. That's the word, maybe. Okay. All right. So I think I'm gonna go in. We're gonna go in with a lot of this greeny blue. Then we're gonna go in with a dash of the darker blue, and then we're gonna go in with the little bit of white at the end because I don't want too much white because there's not too much white in here. But we'll see how we go. See how we go. Hey, Dave. I just saw you in the chat, man. Great to have you here. Welcome, Mark, as well. There's many Marks. There's multiple Marks. Tales from Beyond the Galaxy podcast. You guys, stop it. Check them out. There's my dear friends over there. Jordan and Anna. They're doing great things. Let's get Nubian around this place. All right. Good stuff. Good start. Good start. And a little bit of this blue. Just a little bit less than the green. Let's get this started. I feel like I didn't add enough fluid medium, but we'll see how we go. You know what I feel like I should use? I think we need the white. It's a little too dark. The green's a little too dark. I'm not liking it. It's a little too dark. All right, we're gonna add some white. You staying with me? You sticking with me? Naboo. Okay. Using an implement to help is helping. How are we looking? It's still a little too dark, isn't it? We need a bit more white. What do we think? More white? I think I made it too thick as well. Okay, let's spread it out to these edges. More green? I feel like, what if I add the green to the white, or white to the green? What am I trying to say? Okay, I've added white to the green. I feel like that's thrown me off. The green's too dark. So if this is your first time to the show, I say this every show, but if this is your first time to the show, I never test before the show. I never try it out because the chaos of it going wrong is so much more fun with you guys. So that's why it's always very fluid, or something always goes wrong. It doesn't go wrong, but it just something always is like different to what we think it is. Oh my gosh, did I just get that on the floor? Okay, we're going to go in a little bit more white. Might make some more white in a minute. Okay, all right, let's keep smoothing. I like the smooth method. I think going like one way helped. Yes, we never practice here on the Raeside. I don't know who we is, but it's because it's just me. Oh, I'm getting this everywhere. Whoop. How are we looking? Okay, this is interesting. This is like a good to work with. I didn't display them anywhere. No, I didn't display them. I have the Camino's behind me here. But what do you mean? Like in a gallery? I feel like I feel like it has more white. I want to give gravity a turn here. I feel like the gravity is going to help us. I mix paint like the Bendu makes the light side and the dark side. Quick poker. I love Camino and Geonosis. Yeah, Geonosis is an underrated planet. I feel like there's not enough is said about Geonosis. I feel like I got to get in with my hands here. I really want to use my hands. Should I use my hands? It's a little too. I think I've gone a little too thick here, my friends. I think that's why we're getting a bit of a very thick effect. We're going to spread out this white a little bit more. You know what? I think I need to let gravity help me out here a bit. Okay, I'm just going to use my hand. That's right. I did use my hands last time for the borders. I did do that. I'll do it again this time. As I'm doing this, back to my idea. I feel like I didn't finish this sentence. I would really love a Gungan show. Captain Tarples, Boss Nass, that whole like crew there, that whole the Gungan Council. There's a couple of Clone Wars episodes where they go to Naboo, and there's something happens with the council or something. One of them is like a trade. Oh, they had that like shifty Gungan, like that shifty old Gungan. That's like a spy for Count Dooku or something. And like somehow they capture Anakin or something. There's like that whole. What am I thinking of there? Have I made that? Have I dreamt that? Have I dreamt that storyline? Okay, we're looking a little better here. We're looking a little better. That is that actually. If I try and where is that on the screen? I can't move over this. Is that looking like the planet? It's a little darker. Yeah, that's in Clone Wars. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm dreaming it. I'm not dreaming it. I mean, that's looking a little bit more Naboo-ish. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. The coloring is. I thought the coloring was really off, but it's not that off. Oop, little spot there. Awesome. Happy days. Okay, let's pop this aside. And we're going to get ready for Mustafar. This was actually quicker than I thought. I don't know why I thought this was going to take forever. Okay. Cool. All right. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. I'm going to go pop this somewhere where it can start to dry and wash my hands. And we'll get back into Mustafar. Talk amongst yourselves. Ooh, that was a quick Naboo. How did it go? Well, I'll let it settle and like kind of start to set a little bit, and I'll get it back out in the end. We can kind of judge how well it was looking. But yeah, not bad. That was a lot quicker than I thought. We've got plenty of time to chat. Hey, Joel. Hey, Photos Night. Yeah, let's talk about Bad Batch season 2. I mentioned it before. I want to talk about Bad Batch season 2. I'm back. I've got a video coming out very soon for my predictions for season 2. But yeah, season 2 should be really good. I think there's a lot of kind of darker themes of the Empire that I think could be coming up in season 2. I think the character of Crosshair, he's a really interesting guy. What's the Imperial guy that's just like who's like the main villain like against the Bad Batch? What's it called? It's something Hart or something Gale Hart or something. Who's that guy? Someone correct me in the chat. Who's I feel like Hart is in his name. But that guy, I found him a really compelling villain in season 1, and I'm keen to have him in next season. I don't know in terms of cameo. Actually, I do have one big really cameo that I really want to see. But I'm gonna leave that for the video. I'm gonna leave that for the video. Caleb Admiral Rampart. It's not Rampart, but it's. I feel like I'm close with the heart idea. Rampart. Okay. I want to see Gunji civilian. Yeah. Well, that's right. We got Gunji in that trailer. That was wild. I saw that. I got the absolute pleasure and luck to see that trailer live at Celebration. That was wild. That was wild to see Gunji and of course Commander Cody as well. In that trailer, which was just everyone just went nuts. I mean, rightfully so. I feel like it's so funny. Like Cody isn't like a super big character or like has a super big kind of character arc in the Clone Wars, but it's like people just went wild for him to like when we saw him in the Bad Batch season 2. But that would be cool. Like I think there's a lot of questions around if he has his chip because obviously Rex got his out thanks to Ahsoka. But it's like like did Cody have his chip? Like does he still have it? Maybe got removed. Maybe the Bad Batch like find him and remove it for him. I think I think we're gonna have some cooler, darker themes. I thought it was pronounced Gunji. I think it's maybe it's probably an Australian way to say it. Maybe Gunji. Actually now I say that aloud and thinking about it, I feel like it's quite Australian to say Gunji. I don't know how else to say that though. India, am I gonna Star Wars London? No, it's too far, man. I mean, you get me. You're from Australia. It's like a whole 24 hours to get to London, man. Like no way. If it's any time it's in America, I would go, but London's too far to commit, and it's like for like a week. It's like not even a week. Like Celebration only goes for 4 days. But it's it's a good time. It's a good time. Anyway, we'll get into Mustafar in just a moment. But we just Bad Batch season 2. But one last thing I'll say about Bad Batch season 2 is that I have a hunch, and I'm going to explain this more in the video that I do of my predictions. I have a hunch that Crosshair is going to join back with the Bad Batch. I feel like they're going to I feel like it's going to be that classic trope of like they get into trouble and then out of nowhere, like Crosshair is there. But I feel like it will be pretty early on in the season. But what do you guys think? Do you think Crosshair is going to stay like a villain, kind of keep building up that kind of villainous? I mean, he's a pretty badass villain. He's a pretty good villain, to be honest. But I just have a feeling. I have a feeling that he's going to turn back. He's going to turn back. The season 2 finale was an odd finale for me. I thought that was a very odd situation of what happened there. So I don't know. I've got a vibe that he's going to return. Okay. I feel like the little cup things I do for the painting, like, is kind of pointless, to be honest. I feel like because I pick it up straight away anyway. So, you know what we should do, though? Don't mind me as I'm just resetting up here. Actually, reaction cam, you can go and hold for a second. Reaction cam as I reset up everything. Joel, my prediction: Bad Batch season 2 is the last season. You know what? It's like it's super sad to say, and I don't want to agree because I don't want it to be true. But it's like they do not care. They do not care about the Bad Batch. Like, they shifted around like the release date, but like didn't really care to tell anyone. And then, they're just like, okay, we'll kind of just put it here in like January, but like there's nothing. Like, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird the whole way that they just didn't really say anything. And like, even so, like we are like almost a month out from it. We're a month out from Bad Batch, and we have had zero, not a peep of marketing for Bad Batch. It's like I think that it'll still come out on the 4th, but it's just like why is no one talking about this? Why is nothing happening about this? I saw a lot of you liked this reply to my friend Corey on Twitter's talking about Bad Batch. Um, and we're talking about just mentioning about the marketing of the show, and I was like, dude, I'm not even gonna wish that Disney markets Bad Batch because I'm gonna do it for them. I'm just gonna on my own Twitter, on my own channel, just like market that show because it's a good Bad Batch is good. I know people are like, oh, there's some filler shows, but it's like filler episodes, but it's like it's such an odd argument that I can't quite explain why, but I'm like, it's kind of what the show's for. Like, it's meant to be 20 minutes, like, adventure run around mission. Like, it's kind of meant to be filler. Like, if you want to use that word, I actually think, like, yeah, it's like, it is kind of filler because it's like, that's kind of the start of the show to kind of, have these missions, adventures, 22 minutes. Like, it's very Clone Wars. You could say, oh, Clone Wars is filler, but it's like, I think that's kind of the point of the show, that it was really kind of fun, and some of the episodes were really dense with lore and characters and things that were happening. But other episodes was just the character building of those characters, and we were getting to know them, and like getting just them working together and seeing how their dynamic works. That's a lot of the Clone Wars style. That's a lot of the Clone Wars episodes. Even though there are really deep episodes, there's a lot of those episodes. So it's kind of a part of it. I can't really. It's like not a bad thing to me. Yeah, it's literally a filler show. Yeah, it is. That's what it like. That's the thing. That's the shtick. That's like you've almost exactly said it. I love it. Thank you for you agreeing with me, Caleb. Appreciate it. Sin City Sith, I like to imagine Fives being with the Bad Batch guys. He'd be epic. Rip Fives. But I totally agree. Totally agree. Lucky the destruction of Camino was still one of the best sequences in Star Wars animation. Oh, for sure. For sure. I feel like it got overshadowed a little bit somehow. What was happening at the time? Actually, not much was happening in Star Wars at the time, but I just feel like we didn't hang on that fact enough. Like, that was a really emotional and dramatic sequence, and that was a massive moment in like the Star Wars like prequel history. It was a very good scene, very well like directed scene, which is a good thing. But like, if that's an argument people are going to use, yeah, it's like that's what I think. I mean, it's like saying it's filler isn't an argument because it's like it's not a something that's like against what it is. It's like that's what it is. It's meant to be just like a mission action show. Hello, Law. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. Cross has said to understand that the Empire doesn't care for him, and he doesn't seem to be a dumb character, but he is so stubborn. Even when the Empire's already made clear he is expendable. Yeah, for sure. I think Crosshair, and I think maybe that's why I have this hunch that Crosshair won't stay with the Empire the whole season. I feel like he's gonna join up with the Bad Batch at some point. I feel like it's gonna be maybe that like a really classic thing where he joins up with them, they're all together again, then they have some sort of battle at the end, and then he dies or something. But yeah, I think he's gonna come to that realization. This season he'll come to that realization. That's this season. Red Manda Commando, hello buddy, how you doing? We're doing some paintings. We just painted Naboo, which was very quick. I don't know how we did it so quick. So I'll bring that back out at the end, and we're about to start painting Mustafar. But we're talking kind of shows, what's happening now. No, we don't have Andor. And we're talking all things we're talking about Bad Batch specifically right now. But yeah, good to have you here, my friend. How about this for a Bad Batch theory? Crosshair and his troops corner them, and they run into and they turn on Crosshair, and the boys try to come and save him, and either one or more dies. Now that's a cool theory. So like Crosshair's on a mission, maybe to go find the Bad Batch still. And yeah, his Empire troops turn on him. They get some orders to turn on him. The Bad Batch save him. Actually, that's a cool idea. I feel like that could happen. I don't mind that idea. That's kind of cool. I like that. Stone Reaper, appreciate it. You're awesome. You're even more awesome. As Amiga is getting older, the darker storyline will become. Yeah, for sure. I feel like the little excerpt we got was cool. They're kind of in slightly different outfits, showing a little bit of time between season 1 and season 2. So Yeah, I think Omega will be, maturing a little bit. Yeah, for sure. And go check him out. Go search up Lockie on Instagram, and also Spotify. He's cranking out his music. And also, did you like the new intro? I haven't even mentioned that. Oh my god, the new intro. Did you like the new intro? Because he wrote the my new theme song, which is playing there, which I'll play it at the end as well. But yeah, he wrote that one for me, so go check him out. Lockee. Lockie. Law, I do think that over time the Bad Batch is either going to branch out into something bigger or end and go into other animated show that is bigger. Yeah, I have like that's a cool concept where it's like kind of like essentially what they did with season 7 Clone Wars. It was backdoor piloted, and then we got Bad Batch. Like this, that's not a crazy idea. It's like Bad Batch ends season 2, and then maybe I don't know, like a Leia series or something, or some sort of kind of carries on in the timeline, where it's like teenage Leia kind of getting into the senatorial things. That's a cool idea. I don't mind that. Jared was about to watch the Willow movie in preparation for the premiere of the show tonight, but saw you live and painting, so had to join. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi! Great to have you here, Jared. Wow, enjoy. Watch Willow though. I'll be here. I'll be here. But I appreciate you being here, man. I gotta check out Willow. I don't really know much about it, but I want to check it out. I want to check it out. At the end, all the members of the Bad Batch going to die except Omega. Ooh, that's a cool theory. That's a really interesting theory. I mean, maybe not this season, like unless this is the final season, maybe, but maybe season 3. I don't know. Omega. I get a lot of people saying I sound like Omega. I don't hear it, but I appreciate it. The troops clearly don't like or respect Crosshair. It wouldn't surprise me to see them turn on him. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a thing. Do I cosplay or TikTok? I do have a TikTok at the Raeside, but I'm not too active over there, but that will be changing soon. And no, I do not cosplay. I just like talking. I can't wait to see Commander Cody in Bad Batch season 2. My favorite clone. Yeah, see, I feel like he didn't get enough airtime in the Clone Wars. So many people love Commander Cody. So yeah, that's amazing that he's your favorite clone. I love it. But it would be so cool to see him. I missed it. I'll play it again. I'll play it at the end. I'll play it at the end. Yes, it was fire. Thank you, Indie Yoda. Appreciate it. It's looking like the Zilla Beast will return in the Bad Batch. You know what? I need to watch that Bad Batch trailer again. Was it in the trailer? Was that just like rumored, or is that just a theory? But either way, love the Zilla Beast. Whereas their greatest hits beginning the show. Oh yeah, dude. I really hope we get more Delta Squad. I really hope them throwing in Scorch wasn't just a teaser and then end up playing a larger role, potentially pulling some stuff from Imperial Commandos. Yeah, I feel like they can definitely expand that. I think that whole is Delta Squad? Is that what they're called? There's a lot more potential to kind of expand there and explore there. And I think that's something that was really successful of the Clone Wars is obviously not just like humanizing the clones, but like everyone can kind of start to connect them. And a lot of clone stories, and now going into stormtrooper stories, really, we're very popular. We're very popular with people. So it's like, I would lean into that more. I would lean into that. Jedi Nerd, hello. Welcome to the show. I think what I really want is just the Star Wars Reign of the Empire animated show that does what the Clone Wars did, whatever they want, whenever they want, and whoever they want. You know what? I would take that if they do the same thing with like the main characters, where the main characters is like, I don't know, the main characters could maybe be Leia, and like she's kind of hanging around Bail and Bria doing senatorial things. Maybe Luke, and that won't be too heavy, but like Luke's just adventures on Tatooine. And maybe even a young Han. Throw have Luke Leia Han, like young, just before A New Hope kind of area. Maybe but then off those 3 characters, have all the side characters as well, just like Clone Wars did. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Did you paint the Mando in the back? The Mando? Oh no. So these are drawings. I got this at Oz Comic Con here in Sydney. No, I forget the artist name of that, but no, I did not draw those ones. Dave could even sprinkle in pre-Esper Rebels episode with Sabine, Zeb, Hera, and Kanan. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah, I need to rewatch that. I definitely need to rewatch that Bad Batch trailer. That was a good one. That it's true, Dave. I did dress up as Leia. Are we getting Bad Batch season 2 official trailer soon? It will be the celebration one people saw. You know, that's a good point. That's a good point. We should be getting like again. It's like we're a month out. We're just over a month out, like a month and 4 days out, and it's like we're still nothing really. So hopefully soon. I mean, I hear we're getting a Jedi Survivor trailer coming out next week after start of week after next. I think it was the 8th of December or something, which would be good. But yeah, where's this Bad Batch trailer? Less, just over a month, man. Amazing. Definitely hope Omega and Boba meet. Absolutely. I think that's a really, really cool concept that they introduced there. I think that would have worked really well. Hello, Jax. Welcome to the show. Joel, I felt like Andor was more of a rise of the rebellion type of thing than the Imperial reign. Yeah. I would agree with that. I feel like we Andor satisfied my reign. Yeah, okay. So Joel's saying it satisfied that, but we're saying we could have even more. I hope there is Vader in Bad Batch, but it's slim. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that party that kind of I liked seeing Vader in Rebels, but I found he took away from the power and the darkness of the Inquisitors. So I don't know, man. Could we get Vader in Bad Batch? Do they do they face Vader at some point? I don't know. I feel like the villains and the importance of the villains is going to be left to those of like the Imperials, ISB people, Rampart. Like, I think it's going to be that's going to be left to be those villains. Like, I think they're going to build up Rampart to be a lot more evil than we thought he was. Interesting. I mean, you guys got some interesting thoughts. It's good. Off to bed now. Night to all. And have the greatest rest of the show. Take care. Take care of all of you. Thank you for stopping by, Sin City Sith. It's great to have you here for the short time. Take care. Have a great rest of the week, man. See you next time. See you on the show tomorrow. A gaming show tomorrow. Red Mando Commando. I hope there's a time skip between season 1 and 2. I really want to see normal stormtroopers in Clone Wars animation style. The bit we got at the end of the Clone Wars season 7 was so good. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's, I think the show is almost like, well, that's one of the primary concepts of this transition from cloning to stormtroopers. I was going to say stormtroopering, but that doesn't work. Cloning clones and stormtroopers. There we go. That's a very primary concept that is in Bad Batch and heavily in season 1. So I think you're on the money there, Remando. I think that could be definitely a big concept in season 2 that we see a bit of a time jump, and we're seeing not only just the transition, but what stormtroopers are looking like, what they're doing. It was interesting that episode of Bad Batch that we got where I can't remember what number. It was near the end of the season where was it Gregor? Who was it that they got? Was it Gregor? I can't remember who it was, but they broke him out of jail, and there was the commander troopers. That was interesting to see in Clone Wars style. That was cool. It was really, really cool. The Bad Batch has no chance against Vader. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, I feel like that's not a fair matchup. I don't know if they'll face off. In my opinion, if Vader appears in the Bad Batch, is only for one more character to die. Yeah, that's fair. I would tip that. I would tip that. I do not think you want to overdo cameos of the OG Star Wars characters in all Star Wars shows. Yeah, I agree. I think that's why it's like I feel like they'll leave the villainy to Rampart and some of the other the Delta Squad and Crosshair and all that kind of stuff. I think they'll leave that to then. What's from Miami? Would you rather Star Wars make a trilogy far in the future or far in the back? I don't understand the start of that question, but I'll take the last part of the question. A Star Wars trilogy from the future, like a beyond Rise of Skywalker, I think you're saying, or before Phantom Menace. I'd probably say before Phantom Menace, to be honest. I'm into the High Republic. I haven't read enough of it, but I'm into it. Connor just started watching Rebels for the first time. what does it rank in your Star Wars content? So far, I'm enjoying it. Rebels is fairly high. I don't talk about it enough, I think. I think because there's a lot going on in the other news, but it's fairly high. I enjoy it. I finished a second rewatch of it. I only watched it for the first time like 2 years ago. I was late to the party of it. I didn't watch it as it was coming out. And then I just did a second rewatch this year, which I'm already ready for a third rewatch. So fairly high. Definitely, I think Clone Wars and Bad Batch rate above it, but that does mean it. I don't want to say it's like, oh, it's last, because it's like, no, I really loved Rebels. It was good. It was good. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'd like to see them face Vader, but only if they're willing to have a big character death like Hunter or Tech, because I don't feel like a group of clones could all make it out of that meeting. I feel like if anyone was to die, it would be Echo, to be honest. I feel like he would be the one to die. Because I feel like the Bad Batch could still quite cohesively run without Echo if it was going to continue for some seasons. Oh, we got a bot. We got a bot. Thank you there. Gregor, yeah, that's him. Love the Star Wars chat helping me get through night shift. Ah, so good they were helping you through, man. I forget it's nighttime over there. That's wild. But great to have you here. It's been a good time. I really hope Cody doesn't die in Rebels. Rex says his name when he has PTSD, which means Cody could have died. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, it's you know what? I'm gonna be pessimistic. I feel like he might. I don't know. It depends how heavily involved in the season he will be. I did my own Star Wars tier ranking and gave Rebels an A. There you go. Very high ranking there. That's amazing. Camino. I think that Rebels is the most underrated Star Wars show. I think it has some of the best moments and characters in Star Wars. Yeah, I like it. Definitely has some really great storytelling. I think there's some great storytelling in there as well. We're watching from Mexico. We're watching from Michigan. Welcome, Dale. Dale giving everyone a hello. Let's welcome back Dale. Welcome to the chat. That's what I thought the whole TV show to be in the first place. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's get into our second painting of the evening. This is going to be a good time. We're doing Mustafar. Mustafar. Where can we see Mustafar again? Where can we see Mustafar again? Can we see it in Bad Batch? Acolyte. Can we see Mustafar and Acolyte? That'd be interesting. Have I watched Andor? Yeah, Brad. We've done breakdowns and reviews and reactions all long. So yes, I did watch Andor. Hope you enjoyed it. What did you think about it? I'm not very exclusive with what Star Wars I watch. I pretty much watch all Star Wars. So yes, I have definitely seen it. Yes. Okay, so you know what we need? What are we missing? What are we missing if we're about to get into the action? What are we missing? Echo dying would be so painful to me, seeing as how they shafted his character so far. Yeah. I mean, they didn't shaft his character. I feel like... Actually, you know what? He didn't get too much airtime, did he? Now that you say that. You got it, Keith. Just waiting for someone to say, we got that reaction cam coming back. Had a bit of a timeout as we were having a good chat there. So, Mustafar, this is going to be a tricky one. Now, I need to make it a lot more fluid this time. That was my problem with Naboo, but I think we're gonna nail this one. So we got Mustafar above me in the background here as well, which is helpful to see how the coloring works. Reaction cam. Who named reaction? Was it Dave? Did you? I feel like Dave, you named it reaction cam. I need to remember that it was you, so I credit you because it's such a great name. And also, yeah, I've got solo cups because I ran out of the other containers I had, so we're doing solo cups with these pours. So we're doing obviously yellow, red, and black. I know there's a lot of orange on it, but the red and yellow mixing will act as that. I don't really need to add orange. All right. Okay, so going in with a yellow. Red Mando. There's some Naboo on your arm. Yeah, I've got a lot of Naboo everywhere, actually. There's to be honest, when I did the last Camino painting, I had Camino on me for days after. It was hilarious. If you just joined the chat, make sure you tune in for tomorrow as well, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern gaming stream live here on the channel. There's no separate channel. It's oh no. Oh my gosh, my brain just broke. I just did yellow again. Oh Jesus. Hang on. Oh. Stay with me, reaction cam. Stay with me. There we go. All right, let's get a new one. Charmeleon, Star Wars and live painting. Okay, sadly I have to bounce, but super glad to have found this stream and sub. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you so much for stopping by, even for the short amount of time. I had some great comments tonight, Charmeleon. But have a great rest of the evening or day, wherever in the world you are. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Great to have you here. I would say that Deirdre Miro was a way better villain than Reva. You know what? I love the... Oh, there we go. Jeez, that took a while. I love the premise of Reva. I love the idea that she was a Padawan and she saw Anakin kill younglings and was there for Order 66. I love that concept. I think that's so smart. I don't think they executed it well. I don't think they did. So I do have to agree with you there. I think Deirdre Miro was a way better villain than Reva. Okay, cool. All right, we've got our colors in there. We'll add our fluid medium and get going. We'll get going. Imagine for Ahsoka we see Clone Wars flashbacks with Hayden, Clone Wars armor, Clone Wars hair. Oh, I want that to be so true. Okay. So we're adding the fluid medium to the different colors. All right. Now I need better implements to mix this with. Let's talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to try and find a better implement to mix these paints with because it's upsetting me. And we're back. All right. We're going to, you know what? I'm going to do the skewer method again, but I'm going to use a bunch of skewers at one time. Is it in the, let me check someone. I laugh at everyone's jokes, even if Hannah doesn't see them. I do try to keep up, but I do think I miss them. Lean and welcome. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. If Reva got stabbed or not. Hang on, what was it? Yeah, she hit it. She said she hit it with bodies. Yeah, that didn't. Yeah, it's kind of didn't click. Eh. Welcome back to the Dave side, everyone. Maybe I should rename it for the show. There we go. Okay, yeah. The key. I didn't make Naboo flowy enough. But I did go have a check on Naboo just then. It's looking good. Okay, that's a lot more flowy. Okay, the multiple skewer method. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing. Ballista, long day work. Hopped in for the stream. I'm already having a great time. Hope you guys are all doing great. Hope you're doing even better. Great to have you here. If you can't tell already, it's very chaotic. It's very relaxed, but it's so great to have you here talking about Star Wars. Always a good time. Appreciate it. John, the Clone Wars. I finished the Clone Wars finally. Finally, John. My God. A couple of months back. Very emotional and impactful finale. I need more of that in Star Wars. Yeah. And I saw a question before of What did I think of Tales of the Jedi? I think Tales of the Jedi is just that. It's a fantastic extension of the great animation and storytelling that was Clone Wars, which really was Dave Filoni. Which, yeah, I definitely think we need more of in Star Wars. I totally agree. Okay, we're mixing up our colors. The Wi-Fi is dropping a little bit here, so reaction cam is going to take a second to catch up with us. Somehow we're chaotic and relaxed. I don't know how I'm both, but we're both. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more of the stuff. Oh, wouldn't that be great? That would be great. Watch it for the first time again. That'd be a great experience. Fantastic. Great. All right. There's so many orange and yellow, blue and red glowing troopers. Why are no pink clone troopers? Good point. Good point. There's purple? Kind of. There's kind of purple ones. But I get you. I get your photos. I get what you mean. Okay. A lot more runny. I'm happy with this. It's looking good. We've got red, black, and yellow. How's our pourability? Even more. I was self-conscious with how thick the paint was last time on the Naboo one. So we're really going to go overboard with the liquid medium here. I want a Clone Wars live action show. Okay, pitch it. What do you mean? What do you mean live action show? Nerd Cantina, me too. More live action General Grievous. Live action General Grievous would be pretty dope too. And you know what? Like, I feel like the animation and CGI is like, not that it was bad. Like, it was incredible for its time. But it's like, 2003 animation compared to, 2022 animation would be insane. Yeah, I'd be down for that. I feel like I would be down for like a General Grievous backstory. I know it's out there somewhere. Is there a comic about General Grievous's backstory? Or a book, perhaps? Joel, are you still in chat? Joel is my book and he's my paper Star Wars expert. Him and Matthew over at Ion Canon. Go check them out. Ion Canon. They do all the kind of paper Star Wars content over there. It's good stuff. Obi-Wan versus Mace Windu, though. The Galactic Marines are pink from a certain point of view. I don't even know who they are. Am I a fake fan? Who's the Galactic Marines? I'm about to do Mustafar. We've got our red, we've got our black and yellow going here. I think I'm gonna add a touch of white here and there just to lighten things up. We'll see what we do. What's the one Marvel movie that you watched? The one Marvel movie I have watched is the very first Iron Man. The very first Iron Man, the number one. I think it's just called Iron Man, right? That's the only one I've watched. That was about a year ago. Haven't watched it since. I'm not a big superhero person. I don't know why I'm not into it. General Grievous is the one aspect of Clone Wars I'm not a fan of. There you go. I still like his episodes, but I feel like they could have been so much more menacing. Fair enough. That's a pretty good take. Yeah. His Legends backstory is awesome. Awesome. Okay. Where is that backstory? Is that somewhere? Okay. Here we go. Here's advice. Actually, maybe we should do advice before I start painting. Mustafar looks more spotty rather than Naboo, which looks more smeary. I hope your technique takes that into account. Good to know. So maybe I should do like a red and black layer first, and then maybe try and spot on some yellow or something. That's a good idea. Live action version of Dark Disciple with Quinlan Ventress could be a really good show. Yeah, I still need to read that, but I would love to see that. Ballista, yeah, what are we talking about here? Are the snowtroopers looking fellas from Kimundi during the Battle of Megiddo in Revenge of the Sith during Order 66? Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta go back and look at that. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, you know your stuff. Clone Wars Grievous on Clone Wars is such a doofus. How did he end up as a general, and why every single strategic decision he made ended up losing the ship and running always in a shuttle? Yeah, for sure. Like, it is shocking. That's like, Count Dooku or, even like Sidious. Like, why did they not fire him earlier? He was terrible. Like every mission, everything would explode, everything would be destroyed, and you're totally right. He would just like run along the ship somehow. He would like run through a vent system and then like get in an escape pod. Who's picking up from who picks him up from the escape pod every time as well? I want to know. General Grievous has been in my top 3 characters since I first saw him in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, he's very cool looking. I would give you that. We need to see Wolf in the Bad Batch. Yeah, I would love to see him. I love Wolf. Gotta love Wolf. Okay, let's get painting. I'm quite nervous about this one, so I think I'm procrastinating. Ooh, that's actually a very plausible answer. Sidious and Dooku intentionally kept Grievous around so they could prolong the war. That's true. He's because he's quite a doofus. There's a good word for it. Okay. Gonna nail this technique. Let's go for it. I don't know how I feel like, could this be runnier? I'm so anxious about the runniness levels of these paintings. Okay, let's do it. All right. It's gonna get messy again. Mustafa. I'm trying to think of a Mustafa pun. Okay, let's get to it. Again, it gets messy as soon as we start, so I won't be able to read the comments super fast as we do this. Oh, it's a little pink. It's a bit pink, isn't it? Ah, well, bit of a pink Mustafa. We'll see how we go. I'm going to do a little bit of black. So I'm thinking this is going to be like the base colors, and then we'll kind of smear it around and then try to kind of add a bit more of a spotty effect. Wow, that's like a really fluorescent yellow. That's hilarious. Okay. Whew. All right, this one I'm going to do a little easier because I can actually move this one around a little easily. Bear with me. I know it doesn't look fantastic at first. It gets there. Add a little bit more black. This is a lot more controlled than the Naboo one, isn't it? Because it's a lot more flow. This is how it's meant to go. I wasn't meant to smear it really, but I had to with the Naboo one because it was a bit too thick. But this is the real technique where you're kind of rolling around. Hey, it's Darth Maul. Actually, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's kind of like Darth Mauling. When is the Raeside Gallery opening? Very soon. Very soon. More black? Nerd Cantina. That's funny. So we've got to get that like flow look because it looks less like man-made if we let the paint do the work. This yellow, the yellow's ruined it a little bit. The yellow was like almost like a fluorescent yellow. Like it's not hitting that same yellow for me, but you know, that's okay. Might add a little bit more red to this area then. I'm not loving that yellow. All right. All right, a little bit more black. What are we feeling? I'll roll around this red a little more. A little bit more black. Is that what we're vibing? This looks wild. It's like slowly getting there. It did not look like it at first, but it's slowly getting there. Smear some black through the yellow. Okay. Should I? Yeah, like physically? I'm worried it's going to ruin the aesthetic of it. I might just let it run, actually. It's stand-up time. It's stand-up time. I should point up a little bit. Stand up. I feel like I could do some more. Be more black. If I add a touch of white here and there, would that be wild? Would that be insane? Hannah means business when she has to stand up. This is a slow and steady process. Actually, action cam, can you just move a little so we can show the people what we're doing? Oh, geez. So we're letting it flow. We're letting it run. Is that satisfying to watch that run like that? Is that satisfying? Satisfying to me. Try and hold it still so you can see how I'm letting it run. We're getting there. We're getting there. The yellow is growing on me. Again, this is not meant to be super accurate. It's meant to be very like an abstract kind of representation of Mustafar or you know, of the planets anyway. Oh, geez, I'm getting this everywhere. Oh, I got on the carpet. Oh, my God. That's okay. I'm not stressed about the carpet because it's acrylic. Acrylic washes out. Okay, I'm going to add a little more red over here. Here we go down there. You know what? This is a great time to showcase the new theme song. Theme song courtesy of Lockie, who's in the chat today. All right, we're almost done with this one. I think I might add some little flecks of white or something. Just tuning now out of work. The planet looks good so far. Thank you so much, Brady. Great to have you here, my friend. Glad to hear from you. I'm trying to... There's tiny little white bits at the bottom here, which I'm trying to let it flow to. What happens if I just add a little bit? Is this officially the Raeside theme? Yeah, this is officially the song. This is the Raeside theme. This is it, man. All right, I'm gonna add just the edges here. Let me know if the music's too loud too. Can turn that down. Crikey, this is messy. How still has this not been fully colored in? W Mustafar painting. This is good painting music, actually. This is great painting music. Okay. So I'm gonna prop this up a tiny bit. This kind of looks like a if Darth Maul was a abstract painting. All right, we're gonna go in with some flecks of yellow. See how this goes. Look at that technique. Look at the tap technique. How we looking? Have a look at my friends. I can't get it in the shot. Action cam, work with me here. There we go. Look at Mustafar. Whew. It's a good theme song, eh? It gets stuck in your head. I bet you tomorrow you'll be singing this all day. We'll wait for the riff to finish. Phenomenal. All right, well, let's check out Mustafar. Again, it's not meant to be super accurate, more of an abstract demonstration of what Mustafar is, but I like the swirl. I think the speckles add some interest to it. But we'll go. I'll pop this up, ready to just set a little bit for the end of the show, and I'll come back and we'll keep on chatting. So, once again, third time this show, talk amongst yourselves. Oh boy. Wild stuff. Look at the utter mess we've made today. Reaction cam. You've done your job today, reaction cam. Jesus. How we doing? Are you approved? George Lucas approves. I love it. I love that so much. Phenomenal. The George, right? The George Lucas account. Amazing. I like it. Thank you so much, Jedi Jen. Appreciate it. Yeah, Reaction Cam does deserve a raise. I deserve a raise. Cool. Good stuff. Well, that was a good painting session. Reaction Cam can retire for the evening. The rest of our discussion, I'll try and tidy up a little bit more. But I see a lot of Vader discussion happening in the chat, which is fascinating. The one thing that is often a topic of conversation with any kind of these shows that are coming up, is that of like, oh, we should get this. Is Vader going to be in this? Is Vader going to be in this show? I keep seeing that. It was said for Andor, said for what was the show we just got? Well, obviously we got him in Kenobi, but I feel like any kind of upcoming project, everyone's like, oh, is Vader going to be in this? You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time for a Vader show. Just Vader. Like, just going through, like it would be half him being like a badass, being the terrifying character that he is, just controlling and dealing with all the rebels of the universe, of the galaxy, but also on the more emotional side, I think, seeing Hayden in scenes where like Vader has his suit off and maybe how in pain he is, and like we can maybe I would love to see a little bit more of how actually Vader is functioning at this time, because he's in a lot of pain, and I know that's in a lot of comics and things, but I would love to see how much pain, like not pain he is in, but you know what I mean? Like just see how it's not a good life he's living, and why, when Anakin turns back to the good at the end of Return of the Jedi, why that it was like a relief for him. It was like a finally. He was such a relief. And why that is. That'd be interesting. Painting Vader. Maybe we could paint Vader even. That'd be interesting. I have a theory that we could see a flashback of Twilight of the Apprentice in the Ahsoka show. That would be awesome. I mean, that's a very renowned scene to be one of the best scenes in like any show, like especially in Rebels. It's a lot of people's favorite episode and favorite scene. That would be cool. Would you want an animated Vader show or a live action? Live action. I really think it could definitely. I think it could definitely be live action. Have Hayden come in for the shots, seeing him in the makeup of, the internal Vader, like the burnt Anakin was awesome in Kenobi. I love that. Vader show is announced. Is Vader going to be in Vader? I swear, some people will still ask that. I'm glad Vader wasn't in Andor. It's actually refreshing not to have a bunch of cameos in a show for once. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think that's the thing. It's like, well, people are clearly upset when that happens. So it's like, yeah, well, let's just have shows then. Like, let's just have a Vader show, so people don't have to worry about that. Man, this is we've got paint everywhere. Vader show in Clone Wars animation based on the 2015 comics. He was trying to resurrect Padme. I'll put this idea in the chat until Hannah sees it. Well, seen it, and I like it. Yeah, like that's a really, that's the reason he turned. Really, well, is it though? Like it's like, yeah, that was like maybe the shift. That was like the time. Like that's the reason he didn't let Sidious die. I don't think that's the reason he turned though. My theory is based on no evidence besides Hayden being in the show, but I think it would be awesome to see that scene in live action. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No evidence, but just, what you want to see. I want to see Vader track and go through Jedi after episode 3. Yeah. I think, it's definitely something that has, potential to explore. I take any excuse to get Hayden back in the role. His very few scenes in Kenobi were pretty strong, and the show surrounding him as Vader will be brilliant. Yeah, I think maybe having some other. You know what? And this was in the video I made of shows that should come to Disney Plus. One of my pitches was an Inquisitor show, and I think, if the Vader show could be about how he trains Inquisitors, or how he selects Inquisitors and trains them, and maybe that could be a bit more of a storyline, but like that could be like the A kind of plot, and then the B plot be like how he's dealing with everything. That'd be interesting. Vader in Dominic. Dominic in the live chat. Oh my god. Hey man. Dominic is a good friend over at the where is it? Where's the banner? Star Wars Underworld. Go check it out on YouTube. He's we're co-hosts over there. Always having a good time. Great to have you in the chat, man. What were we saying? Vader in Bad Batch season 2. I don't think so. I think they'll leave that villainy for Rampart and the Delta Squad. Is that the Red Commando? Was that's the squad that's like Crosshair's squad, right? Like that gang. If they do it, if they do make a show like that in animated, I hope they involve Hayden or Matt in some way. Oh, for sure they would. For sure they would. Reaper, if a show about Vader hunting Jedi would be so cool. Not gonna lie, absolutely, I think so. I agree about the live action Vader show. What are your thoughts on the Kenobi show? Fantastic, loved Kenobi. Few little nitpicky things, but that's more on the production side. I think the story was very compelling. But yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it here. Jamie tuning in at 4:30 a.m. Crikey. That is early. That is very early. That is wild. Anakin turned because he wanted power. He told Padme or more, and I know I shouldn't. Yeah, but it's like, there was so many events leading up to that. It's hard to pin it on one. My ideal creation for the next Star Wars movie is a live-action Clone Wars battle that involves de-aged Hayden and Ewan, as well as maybe an actress that more resembles young Ahsoka. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm trying to think. There was like fan casts of an actress that did very much like Ahsoka, have like the facial shape and like structure as Ahsoka. I'm trying to think who that was. Delta Squad is Boss's team from Team. Oh, sorry, I've mixed that up. What then? Who's the squad? Who's Crosshair Squad? What are they called? I don't think that we need a Vader show since Star Wars is his story, basically. Yeah, but we're in this point of Star Wars where it's like, obviously we have the movies, but a very key characteristic of Star Wars media is to expand on something we already know. The prequels was expanding upon the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy was expanding upon what happened after the original trilogy. Clone Wars expanded upon the prequels. Rebels expanded on the original trilogy. Resistance expanded on sequel. I think there's a lot of main storylines, main things we know and very familiar with. But Star Wars media is there to expand that story with furthering good stories. So I think there's potential. Not saying I wouldn't watch it though. Yeah, right. Even if no one asks and it just came out, I feel like we would all watch it anyway. Oh, I love it. Would be cool. We got what if series where Obi-Wan went dark and Anakin stayed in the light? Hey, that's an interesting concept. Kind of like that. A Vader game? Yeah, actually, Vader, he popped up in Fallen Order. Again, I'm so stoked for this Jedi Survivor. It's gonna be so good. I'm gonna start playing through Fallen Order again. I need to do a replay of it before Survivor comes out. I'll start doing that on the channel. But yeah, I that would be cool. That'd be cool. Mark Hannah just needed to say that I'm enjoying your show so much more than Theory Streams, and Josh just complaining about the Star Wars shows. Yeah, it's two different styles. Like that's very much a podcast kind of style. This is much more of that's why I call it a variety show, because we're kind of doing things. We're kind of making things as we go. But appreciate you, Mark. Appreciate your comments into the show. Just talking and enjoying Star Wars together. Appreciate it. Has a show set between episode 1 and 2 showing Anakin's new life in the Jedi Order would be cool. Yeah, you know what? That could be. I could see that happening in Tales of the Jedi. I could see that happening. Maybe young Anakin, and still fairly young Obi-Wan being his master. What they get up to, that'll be cool. Very similar to Brotherhood. I don't think Crosshair's team has a name. Wiki literally just calls it CT9904 Elite Squad. Okay. Should Obi-Wan get season 2 but have him age to the point of Alec Guinness? I think it should get a season 2. I don't think it would go to the point of Alec. I think he will be a little bit more aged. But yeah, I'll definitely be down for a season 2. Absolutely. I wonder who the Jedi Survivor villain is going to be. Could be Vader. I still want episode 3 game remake. Yeah, people have recommended that, and I want them to remake it so I can play it now as well. That'll be awesome. I'd love to see some episodes about Palpatine and Anakin just expanding upon Haz's idea. Yeah. I think that would be really, really cool. I want to see how Palpatine actually taught Vader. I want to see that actually, like, what lessons to be able to, we saw it a little bit, okay, you got to go kill everyone. And he's like, okay, we saw that end of Revenge, but I want to see it like more day to day, like what actually went down, what was actually going on. Andrew, I didn't get into The Mandalorian as much because I wasn't used to the story, not related to the Empire timeline, but liked season 2 because of Luke. I liked Andor as a character since I loved Rogue One. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And glad to hear you got into season 2 of Mando as well. That's awesome. There we go. Man, Red Mando, can you be my my clone correspondent? That telling me all the info of clone things I don't know. This is awesome. But okay, so Bad Batch season 1 had Scorch from Delta Squad. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. I really hope to see the rest of them. They literally have like 40 seconds of screen time, and I grew up playing Republic Commando. That's what I mean. I feel like they gotta, if Bad Batch wants to like keep piping up and keep doing well, I feel like they gotta lean into this clone thing and like everyone getting kind of attached and interested in the cool different types of clones, different abilities of clones. I think they got to, lean into that. Who do you think is in the back to tank in Jedi Survivor? I don't know. I rewatched that trailer just yesterday, funny enough, and I was like, who is that? Who is that? I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's someone out of Legends, but I don't know much of Legends, so I couldn't tell you. This show is good for me because it reminds me of a live Thor Skywalker video. Not overly negative, but people still share opinions and talk Star Wars. Is that a creator? I feel like that's a creator. But thank you. Hopefully it's an open place to discuss things. At least the episode 3 game is an Xbox store thanks to recompatibility and but has a sound glitch. There, okay. I might check that out actually. Yeah, want a young Palpatine and Plagueis show. I would be absolutely surprised if they don't show up in Acolyte at all. Numa, welcome to the chat. Glad to have you back, my friend. Hope you're doing well. We never saw Palpatine choke Vader, but in the comics he did. So yeah, I think there's the Vader. I never got into the comics side of things, but the Vader comics did very well. People love those comics, so it's like yeah, surely maybe. There's some stories in there we can maybe expand upon, or just ideas in there we can maybe expand upon, for sure. Andor is the deepest Star Wars show ever. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think it's one of the deepest shows. Yeah, I think that's a good way to explain it, describe it. Bad Batch season 3 late 2023 or 2024. I feel I will be at least a year. I feel like it'll be 2024 for Bad Batch season 3. I don't know what it is about The Mandalorian, but it's kind of low on my Star Wars tier list. Like, it's just good, and I can't wait for season 3 Mandalore, but I just have a weird feeling watching it. Not sure why. I mean, it was quite a different style to what we have seen previously. Obviously from the movies, it being the first live action. And it does have a very, I had that very similar experience watching it for the first time. I would agree with you there, Jamie. I think, I don't know. I wasn't really sold onto the storyline until maybe the end of season 1. Really, I was like, oh, okay, I get what's happening. I get this guy, and then I think season 2 having a little bit more context for us, not for us, but for me, I found a little bit more context of, not that we need cameos, but just the idea of Mandalore is this was what kind of happened to Mandalore. And then, we talking about, we see Ahsoka, again, it's not about the cameo though. It's just the idea of the Force and things like that are familiar to Star Wars is a concept that's around. But I kind of get what you're saying here. I will accept my position of clone as Stormtrooper lore specialist, literally any character that have cool armor. I'm into it. Okay, good. You're officially my clone as Stormtrooper lore specialist. I love it. They said Rex and Worf are going to be in Mando season 3, and I would freak out, but it's probably a lie. Yeah, I mean, this is the period where like all the rumors just like go exploding, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this person's gonna be in it." So yeah, make sure you're getting the right sources. But that'd be cool. I kind of like those characters. Really enjoy those characters. This is a good question. Do you believe the Star Wars that Star Wars is a franchise better suited for TV where it has time to flesh things out compared to the trilogy style of storytelling? Um, I think it depends on the story. It depends on the story you're trying to tell. Would the, stories of the prequels, would that have been better presented in a TV show? I don't think so. But, TV show is the time, like what you said there, is the time to flesh things out, and kind of, yeah, expand on characters and kind of side stories. I think it works. Star Wars works best when we're going to get those two things in tandem, in conjunction with each other. I think it's going to be working best. Um, yeah, when those both things are going. I think there's such a big emphasis on like, oh, this show's out, I don't like it, or I love it, or there's lot of emphasis that. But it's like I feel like it was like, yeah, we're getting like a movie at the end of the year, but we've got these like 2 or 3 shows in the middle of the year. Like I feel like it would just be a better of a balance for Star Wars media. Um and also with the TV shows of Star Wars, I still feel like I call it we're in this growing pain period of Star Wars live action TV. Like The Mandalorian season 1 was only 3 years ago. For some reason, it feels like it was 10 years ago for me. I feel like, does anyone else feel that? I feel like it was like 10 years ago because it was like, COVID in between that. But, it was only 3 years ago, or, just, 3.5 years ago. Um, Actually, no, it was end of 2019, end of 3 years ago. So it's not that long. They're still figuring out how to take a 40-year, you know, style and, lineage of and style of movies and turn it into TV show consumption, that of Netflix and, that style. I think they're still converting that. So I think we're going to have that growing pains. And that's why I'm not too stressed, or like I never get too upset that I'm like, I don't vibe the pacing. Like I didn't vibe the pacing of Andor. But I'm like, that's understandable. Like one, everyone's going to have different opinions, and everyone's going to have different not needs, but different preferences of how things should be paced. And also they're still figuring out, like producers are still figuring out, how do we tell this epic force story that used to be in a 2.5 hour 3 hour movie? How do we tell that in an episodic way for a character? Or not even Force, for The Mandalorian. How do we tell this Star Wars story that we spent hours setting up all these massive shots, massive budget? How do we tell that with a smaller budgets, with new technology? How do we get that same feel and effect of Star Wars, which is that imaginative magic feel that I feel like we can kind of agree on that. That Star Wars, the essence of Star Wars is to spark imagination. I feel like they're still answering that question. So Andor felt a little slow for some people, and Mando felt, a little too kind of cold cut episodic sometimes, or Book of Boba Fett felt claustrophobic, and same with Kenobi felt claustrophobic. I feel like they didn't nail the locationing, if that's a word, of those shows yet. But it's like I have hope that all of that is building for their experience of how to tell a very eloquent and impactful and meaningful Star Wars story. That was a long rant. I apologize, but that's that's my long-winded response to that question. I'm going to be so delayed on all the comments, but I'll get back to it at some point. Colin Newby should operate like how the Clone Wars complements prequels, animated. See, this was what I was saying. Yeah, it's to things to flesh out. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Mandalorian should leave the little Mandalorians should never take off their helmet cult. Is that a statement? Or are you asking that as a question? Because I feel like they could. They said they were gonna see the Bad Batch ship in Mando season 3. That would be so dark. Well, that'd be interesting, actually. That would be very ominous. I actually like that in The Mandalorian. I really like that, having a lot of characters being faceless in the armor be what identifies them. Yeah, I love that idea. I love the whole fact that the Mandalorian, like most of season 1, it's like we never see his face and we only know the face of a baby alien. That's those are the two main characters, and like that's who we get so bonded with them. How do we get so bonded with them? It's amazing. Dave and Obi-Wan was an attempt to try and tell a grand story in a TV series format. Yeah, like again, there was something that didn't hit for me for Obi-Wan in terms of the production, but I think the story was spot on. So it's like every show I feel like they're getting closer. Speaking of Force stuff, I still can't wait for Ahsoka. That show is likely to be one of the best Star Wars since the Clone Wars. Yeah, I feel like the storyline is going to be really interesting for Ahsoka. I think her story is going to be fascinating, what she goes through at this point of her life. And obviously, seeing Thrawn, Ezra, Sabine, I think those characters are going to be awesome in the show. I think it's going to be make for a really great show. Just an awesome, real Star Warsy, saturated Star Warsy show. I do have a TikTok. It's just the Raeside. I don't post on it much, but I will be flooding it very soon. But yeah, at the Raeside, a couple of clips over there as well. I know, but it's kind of like the same with Master Chief. I like having the armor be the face of the character. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. It's such a cool concept. It's like, how do we connect with them so well, even though we don't see their face? We were so close to seeing Kenobi. Whoa, what did I just say? Kenobi? We were so close to seeing Cody in Kenobi. I was so upset. I found they cut him out. Yeah, I feel like I would have loved that. Would have loved that. Mad Maxwell, g'day there. Just joined. Been burning the midnight oil, prepping for uni finals. Amazing. Hope you're doing well. Are you? I feel like, are you Aussie? I feel like you're Aussie. But because I feel like Aussies say uni. I feel like Aussies say uni. That's why I'm like, I feel like you're Aussie. But hope you're doing well. Hope that's going well for you. Let me know which. Hope you're studying well. Yeah. I'm loving the Star Wars content as I always do. For me, Star Wars doesn't really miss a beat. The Last Jedi had some issues, still enjoyed it, but I digress. But when we are getting the new sequel trilogy, yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with the statement. Yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of the content, but I still have a lot of critiques of things. But again, it's like maybe I have more lenience because I'm like, we're in this growing period. We're still figuring this out. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Can I talk Andor spoilers? Yes. Who was it in the chat that hadn't? There was one person who hadn't seen the Andor finale. If that is you, I forget who it was. It was someone in the chat. Mute right now, and we'll talk Andor spoilers. Yes, yeah. We can talk Andor spoilers. That's all good. I believe that Boba taking his helmet off was much more of a one-off. Sorry, let me reread the sentence. I believe that Boba taking his helmet off so much was one of the biggest missteps of the show. Really? Okay. I never considered that. That's fair. What's a Star Wars game you play every now and then for the nostalgia? Easy answer. Immediately, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. Immediately. Best nostalgia game. My Phantom Menace is my favorite movie, so that's easy answer. What are you waiting more? What are you waiting for more? Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Mando, or Lando? Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka. Can I add one to that? Probably Acolyte, to be honest. Acolyte, I think, is the dark horse. I think Acolyte's going to be very good. Very good cast. I think it's got so much potential. But yeah, pop down your picks in the chat as well. Fotis agreeing. Ahsoka for me for sure. Then Bad Batch. Column. The Tales of the Jedi was amazing. I'm a major Clone Wars fan, and any animation like the Clone Wars has been always solid. Tales of the Jedi, I hope they do more. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I totally agree. I hope they do more. I hope we expand on it. Tales of the Sith. And I think there's more Jedi stories in there. I think I just mentioned it just like a little bit ago. The idea of having young Anakin and young Obi-Wan and seeing Obi-Wan train Anakin as a young Padawan and what they get up to. I think it'd be really, really interesting. But yeah, it was such great storytelling. I really loved Tales of the Jedi. She's from Canada. Love Canada. Got some great Canadian friends. Um, Need to go someday. I know a lot of people from there, so I got to go over there. Great country. It's very similar to Australia too. I feel like Australia and Canada kind of have this like silent bond. I feel. Jax, I'm so glad Cyril and Deirdre didn't kiss. It looked like they were about to. Oh yeah, for sure. I was so scared the whole time watching it. I was like, don't you, don't you do it, don't you do it. Yeah, I really, that's a funny combo. I feel like they'll get together next season though. Yes, it was good, eh? It was so good. Hello, Colin from Canada. I feel like that's gonna be the name now, Colin from Canada. What's that bluish grey circle behind your head? That's a good question. This is what we painted the other week. This is our Camino painting. It's it's a little too swirly for Camino. I feel like it's more of a mon color, but that's yeah, this is our Camino. I'm too bothered to put that back up. My Star Wars nostalgia game is Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. Actually, that's a close second. That's almost first. Actually, I forgot about that one. That's a great game. That's a fantastic game. Column Battlefront 2, 2005 is my nostalgia. Absolutely. Brooke, totally agree. I hope Acolyte is a really good dark Star Wars show. Totally agree. What is Acolyte going to be about? It's essentially the Acolyte of the Sith. I think there's going to be, we don't know too much. I'll say that first, but I think there's something about a master and apprentice of the Sith, and the apprentice turns to the master. Something there, but something about yeah, what they're building behind the scenes there, and what are the Sith up to 100 years before, 100, 200 years before the Phantom Menace. Do you think Ahsoka is overused? No. I think there's a reason we use her a lot, because she's a very compelling character. What's your favorite Star Wars non-fiction book? Oh, this is a brilliant question, Jared. That's a great question. Non-fiction book. I read Anthony Daniels' autobiography. That was pretty good. That was pretty interesting. I'll say that for now. Ballista. I'm in a weird state of like, I'm super excited for Star Wars, but I almost feel I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like I'm losing interest, but I still hold on. Tough times right now. Tough times, I know. But try to look at the positive. Try to, indulge yourself in what you loved about Star Wars when you first started loving it. And that's a little bit of kind of what this show is about, the Raeside. This is kind of what I do here because, it's not specifically like we talk about the episodes and things like that, but it is very random what we make here and kind of things like that and what I'm kind of creating. But it's all just for talking about the interest of Star Wars. So, I would recommend just, go watch like your favorite Star Wars movie or something and just immerse yourself back into that. I'm happy to see the whole Ren clan and Fenrau in Ahsoka. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Sabine's like family, that Ren clan. I forget her brother's name, but that guy. I would love to see all those kind of characters in Ahsoka. That would be cool. That'd be cool. Wow, maybe uni is a thing. Lol, not an Aussie. I'm an American Canadian dual citizen. Are you going to go watch Willow? I never saw the original movie and don't know if I would enjoy it as an adult. Never saw the original. I'm seeing other Star Wars fans and creators and some other Star Wars friends watching Willow and saying it's not bad. So I might check it out. Maybe you check it out too, and maybe you tell me if I should check it out. Cyril was a creep though. So let's be honest. He was a creep. I feel like Cyril and Deidre could become a good example of how a toxic relationship in Star Wars if Tony decides to take it that route. Yeah, like it's definitely not like it's like no, don't like chasing, like stalking a woman isn't how to get to someone. Like that's not. Yeah, I'm kind of in. That's like why I'm really iffy about it, because I'm like I feel like that's an awkward concept. I'm not a fan of that. He is simping hard. I totally agree. D Rowley, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show. Man, I know I'm well behind in these comments, but I'm trying to catch up. Do I have a favorite Star Wars planet? A favorite planet in Star Wars? Naboo or Coruscant? Felucia is underrated as well. Always forget to mention that one. If you were asked to create a new planet for the Star Wars galaxy, what would it be like and called? It would be called um uh uh t- uh I'm trying to think of a name. I can't think of a name. Oh my god. Oh my god. But I feel like it would be like a beachy, very like almost like a Scarif, but a bit more cliff, like a mixture of between like Scarif and Arctu, like a mixture of that. So it's like beachy cliffs, but like kind of very almost tropical looking. I'd go for that kind of style planet. If you could decide what the next trilogy would be about, what do you think you would want? Cough, the Old Republic. I would be actually super keen for a High Republic movie trilogy. I think that would be really cool. I think I've read a couple of the High Republic books and really cool themes in there. I'd be down for that. I wish we saw Mara Jade. It's really funny. I feel like you would enjoy the Star Wars Art of books. I highly recommend them. I've read a couple. I do, and I do really enjoy them. Yes. Tristan Wren. Thank you. Thank you. Jared. Yeah, okay. There's my Aussie. There's my fellow Aussie. There we go. Good to have you. Dave, I'm a tad concerned for the Ahsoka show because there's super high expectations from fans, but hoping for the best. You know what? I'm with you there. Maybe that's why I seem kind of like I'm keen for Ahsoka. I think because I'm trying not to build it up. Like my favorite character is Ahsoka, so I'm maybe a little nervous to build it up too much in my head. But I agree with you there. It's it's dicey. It's dicey to kind of get really really excited. I think I kind of shot myself in the foot. And that's what happened to me a little bit with Andor. I got really excited to see cameos, and then like a week out from the episode one, Tony Gore is like, "There's no cameos," and I'm like, "Really?" So yeah, I think I'm trying to keep my expectations low. Jamie, I watch Revenge of the Sith every year, and every time I always hold out hope Anakin won't turn. I literally walk into it going, I hope he doesn't go down that route again. Go down that route this time. That's amazing. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. David Sevilla, I love that chat you have in in the background there. Galad. Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. That's a great planet name. I love democracy. I love the Republic. Same guy literally creates a fascist empire. Yeah, right? Right. I find this crazy, but I've never seen Clone Wars Rebels. Okay, wow. That is kind of crazy. But I'm open to it. I'm thinking of watching all the movies and shows in chronological order on Disney Plus. Amazing. That would, yeah, I definitely recommend if you really want to sink your teeth into Star Wars storytelling. Just bite your tongue a little bit when you get into the animation. I know a lot of, assuming you're an adult, a lot of adults kind of have that difficulty getting over the animation fact. But if you kind of see past the fact that it's an animated show, the stories in it are very deep and are very just persuasive and very meaningful. And it shows a lot of the behind the scenes of like Padme, the Senate, obviously getting to know Ahsoka is such a great journey. So I really recommend it. And same thing with Rebels. Rebels really expands the rebellion a large amount. It really expands the people kind of behind the rebellion, who they're fighting for. All the love to original trilogy, but it's like, it really is just Leia, Han, and Luke we focus on. So yeah, Star Wars Rebels is really a great show to show the rebellion as a whole. But that would be awesome. That would be, I really recommend you go do that, as always. And then you can have more to talk about here. See, it said like you have to see Clone Wars Rebels, the best Star Wars you will see. Harrison Smith, New Zealander here. Wow, I can't say I've had a New Zealander before. Loving the content, first to viewer. Wow, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you being here. Hope you enjoy from across the pond. Would you like to have seen Han and Chewie show up to smuggle Bix off Ferrex for a price, of course? I feel like that would have been too sweet of a cameo. I feel like that would have been too dramatic and like just like too great. That would have been too great to happen in the show. And I think the tone of the show wouldn't have worked. But also, like, I'm never gonna say no to seeing like a main Star Wars character. Amazing. Has the question of the which clone phase armor is the best appeared yet? Are you asking like my opinion, my personal opinion? I love phase one. I love phase one. But yeah, ask it to the chat. Chat, what's your favorite phase of clone armor? Good question. Good question. Carlos, if you could make your own Star Wars movie like Rogue One, what would it be about? It would be about Leia becoming a part of the Senate. And yeah, I've read the book Leia, Princess of Alderaan, and that book is she's 16 and she's kind of getting into the senatorial things. I would love to see a movie about Leia joining, being involved with the Senate with her dad, but then also being involved in the building of the rebellion and the behind the scenes and how that's getting really dicey and the tension kind of builds and the movie goes on and then maybe the climax is like, obviously in original trilogy we see like they know she's like Vader like knows like she's a rebel. So, I want to see the moment or like what event or what thing that happened that let them know that Leia and Bria and Bale are all a part of the rebellion. That's the movie I would love to see. Polynesian Spa. Lol. If you watch I was going to mention that. If you watch the Clone Wars in chronological order, I would recommend the order created by the Deep Dive YouTube channel. It flows better and is more consistent than the official chron time. Yeah, so it's like the Clone Wars seasons. Obviously just like season one, like one to like how many seasons? Like 20 or something. I would recommend, try that channel. Don't know that channel, but try that channel, or even just Google. Just Google chronological Star Wars Clone Wars timeline, and it gives you all the different episodes because it time jumps a little bit in the middle of in seasons. Like, it does jumps here and there. So yeah, I recommend doing that. I love that. I love that. Jamie, Obi-Wan is my favorite character. I held the flag, hoping Rey would be a Kenobi for the longest time, and I died on that hill. I'd love to have a parallel of Skywalker versus Kenobi over water. Yeah, I actually I was on that boat for a while. I was on that boat. I was betting on Rey being a Kenobi, and I thought that would have been a pretty exciting twist. Yeah, I think I died on that hill too. I'm with you there, Jamie. I'm with you there. Phase 2, loving Phase 2. That's right. We were gonna say Utapau. That would have been funny. People loving Phase 1 of Armor. Love it. Phase 1. Amazing. Photos Knight. Who's your favorite Rebels crew member? Hera. I love Hera. I want to be Hera. I want a trilogy of the discovery of the Force and the first conflict separating Force users into the Jedi and Sith. I'm not knowledgeable on canon, but I think it's something that could be interesting. Yeah, wow. That'd be early in the timeline. I thought that let Vader. Hang on. What? I thought that let Vader know she was in the rebellion was because of the whole this stop plans thing. Yeah, but it's like they knew. I feel like it wasn't that one thing. Like no one mentioned Leia to Vader. Well, did they? Like, how did Vader know when she like I guess he knew that it's like, well, you're the ones that are wanting the plans, but how does he know that was I feel like that it would be cool if we kind of built up that story. You know what I mean? Yes, I agree with this. I feel like Organa shows up in Andor season 2. He's an underrated character for sure. Totally, totally. Before we start to wrap up the show, which will be very soon, I'm gonna go grab the artworks again. I'm gonna check out our paintings, see how they set, see how they're looking, and and then we'll start to wrap up. So, for the last time, talk amongst yourselves. It looks like I'm carrying 2 pizzas. All right, let's whack this down. Ooh. Kind of don't want to get up on me. It's looking good. It dries a lot different to how we paint it. But let's get action cam. One more time in the chat. Dave. Watching from Illinois. Welcome from Illinois. That's so funny. Let's look at the reaction cam. Check that out. So the Mustafar has dried a little dark. There we go. Actually, that lighting's doing well for that. Not exactly the Mustafar. Like, I feel like it could have been a little bit more mixed, but I like how it's very abstract. You know what? Action cam, you're gonna come in on the action. Get in here. Literally, because you're an action cam, so you have to get in on the action. So check out that Mustafar. It's a bit more of an abstract Mustafar. But I like the speckles. I think it adds a little bit of interest to it. Bit in the dark there. But yeah, looking good. And then we've got our Naboo here as well. Looking good. I'm happy with this one. Quite streaky and swirly. I feel like once it's dried, maybe I could add some cloud cover of some sort. Because, if you see the Naboo painting up there, there's a bit more cloud cover going on. So I feel like that could work. But I'm pretty happy with that Naboo. The green came out nice. And I think the dark blue added some interest to it. What do we think? A Naboo and Mustafar. Good contrasting colors today. Good stuff. All right, action cam. Go back onto your post. Fantastic. All right, we'll start to wrap up here in a minute. Mustafar kind of reminds me of the Mandalorians. Yeah, there's something like Darth Maul-ish about this planet, right? Krennic. Oh, it's beautiful. I love Krennic. So good. Revenge of the reaction cam. Yeah, right? Is everyone getting that vibe? Like, this is like Maul in an abstract painting. I love it. Looks like when they show Mustafar when Vader appears in episode 3 of Kenobi. Yeah, that's a good point. Out of this galaxy. Thank you. Short round. They look brilliant. Naboo makes me want to eat Jolly Ranchers, though. 2 planets down. How many more to go now? Many, many more. I'm Dan. New to the chat. Are you a professional artist? Very nice work. Nope. I'm just a really big fan of Star Wars. But I do dabble in props. I'm a very practical person. I like making things. I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I like to make things. But thank you for dropping by, Dan. Once it dries, you could hit Naboo with some of the cotton balls and paint white and dry. And that's one thing. I think a bit of cloud cover could really add to that kind of vibe of Naboo. Got a bit of that cloud cover going on. One hell of a stream. It's been a good time, hasn't it? That's right. Someone suggested this last time when I did the community too. I should do Tatooine, but with sand. Maybe next time. I kind of like that. Do you have a place picked out for all your artwork, Hannah? No, I don't actually. They just sit in my room. They're not anywhere yet. They're not hanging up anywhere. But I appreciate it though. I should hang it somewhere. I don't know where I would hang it, but I would hang it somewhere. But yes, before we get into the final wrap of the show, let's do a quick there we go. Housekeeping of what's going on this week. We've got, don't forget, it's coming up. Where's the banner? Star Wars Gaming coming up tomorrow, Wednesday nights, every single Wednesday night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We go for quite a while over there. We're going to probably go for maybe like a 3-hour stream tomorrow. So drop in if you're around, have a chat about Star Wars. Again, even if you don't like gaming, come and join the discussion. It's a good time. We just talk about pretty much everything we talk about today, but just more. But it's been, it was a great time last week. It was there was something happening with the stream. It was stretched and it was a little wonky at times, but we still had a good time and hopefully those things are fixed for next week as well. But yeah, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, which is every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's 12 p.m. here in Australia, Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time. What will I be playing this week? I think we'll start off with some Battlefront, perhaps some Lego Star Wars, and then I think next week, as we get into December, next Wednesday, I'm going to start my Fallen Order playthrough. I think that's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, make sure you're around for that. And I want to check. I don't think I even put it in the chat. Did I put it in the chat? I did. Write down in the description right now. It says cop some awesome Raeside merch here. Hit that link. The Raeside logo merch is live now. It looks good. There's sweaters, there's a hoodie, there's t-shirts. There's a sticker and a tote as well you can grab of the Raeside logo. Now make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to be making some really epic announcements at the end of this week. It's coming. We have some awesome new designs hitting the Raeside shop over there at Teespring. So make sure you check out the logo designs, but also hang tight for the end of the week. This week, I'm going to be announcing some awesome designs coming your way. It's going to be awesome. So I'll just say this. If you're liking what you see here, you're going to want to tune in for what is going to be dropping. So if you're liking this show, if you have liked what I've made here, tune in for the drop that is going to be announced Friday this week. It's going to be a great time. All right. I'm out of breath. What a day. What a great stream. Law stretched Racer Gaming. Yeah, it wasn't a win, but thank you for being so supportive. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jax. Just up to the channel. We need to play squad. We do, dude. We absolutely need to play Squadrons again. It was a great time. Battle One Droid. I'm just wrapping up, but hello, great to have you here. What planet? We've got Mustafar and Naboo here as well. FYI 12. Oh my god, it is daylight savings. Thank you, Jared. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I'll change that. That's hilarious. Dale, gasp. Live merch. Runs back to the computer. Appreciate it. Jamie, I best get some sleep. Hope you have a great, have a good one. Have a good one. I love that saying. That's a great saying. I'm going to use that. You too, my friend. All right, gang. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the chats, the many questions. What did we come up with today? We came up with a premise for a Vader show. We talked about what's going to happen in the Bad Batch. I forget everything that's so much happened. So much conversation happened today, but it's been phenomenal. I hope you enjoy the stream. Hope it made you love Star Wars that little bit more. Just getting to talk with friends about it and enjoy it together. So yeah, make sure you like this video. It helps me out. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoy the entertainment here. And always choose the Raeside. Now, instead of actually playing the end card, I'm going to show you the intro one more time because I worked hard on this intro. So enjoy it. G'day there. Welcome to the Raeside. My name is Hannah. I'm living in Star Wars right now. I'm living my best Star Wars dream. Actually, that's a character. I was have to sing a live show. Let me know if you're staying up for it. I'm gonna be here live. All right, please don't break. The cameos, but I'm sure there'll be some. That's great. I prefer this recipe. I don't know what this would be helpful for. Oh, maybe I should stop there with the detail. I'm going to get carried away. I was almost not going to do it. I was almost not going to do the post-credit scene because I thought playing the intro was enough for you people. You always need your end credit scene. Okay, well, I'll tell you another piece of information. If you're still here, this is the end credit scene. I come back every week after that all happens and I say some hot goss. Hot goss of the week. as well as the merch coming out, as well as the designs coming out, which is going to be awesome. They're all about planets, and I mentioned last week. I think I said 9 last week. I actually meant 7 because I discounted some things. It's actually 7 designs coming, and they're all based on planets. And also, the hot gossip this week is that not only are we getting t-shirt designs, I was acting very coy about it and I was trying to avoid the comments about it. But these planet paintings are actually going to start becoming mass produced, well, by me as much as I can produce them, and actually going to be available for sale. It's actually going to also have the title of the planet on the painting as well. So it's going to be a hand painted design. Every artwork is going to be different because obviously it's all flow. You can see how it worked today. It all flowed differently. So that's, and then, yeah, so the planet and then the title of the planet on top of the artwork as well. And that's going to be for sale as well. So as well as merch, we're going to, handmade the Raeside artworks as well, dropping very, very soon. So this Friday, though, I will announce the drop date of those things. But it's going to be awesome. So I don't know why the Wi-Fi is delaying a little bit, but that's okay. But that's the hot goss for this week. Get out of here. Have a good week. May the force be with you.